Let's taste both red wines at the same time.
What does that even mean at the same time?
At the same time means like this.
Calling all wine lovers, or anyone even remotely interested in wine. Today I'm meeting the best sommelier in the world. That's essentially someone who tastes wine for a living. I'm going to ask him for a few tips on how an amateur wine lover like myself can become an expert. But we're not in a typical wine region like France, Spain or Italy. We're in Riga in Latvia, not known for its wine, making Raimonds Tomsons' title all the more interesting. Thanks so much for agreeing to meet me today.
My pleasure.
I'm here to get some tips from Raimond on how to better understand wine, like what to look out for when buying wine, how to tell good wine from bad, and also how to pick the best wine without spending too much money. Raimond won the title of Sommelier of the World earlier this year and is the first person from a Baltic country to be awarded this honour, so he's definitely qualified to answer my questions. How does one go from being maybe an amateur, getting into wine, and then suddenly becoming the best sommelier in the entire world?
What makes a good sommelier different from maybe a very good or exceptional sommelier is, of course, this kind of moment or detail when you really push yourself to the limits. And I think also you should have charisma, and I always say a good sommelier is a good waiter. But to be a good waiter, you need to understand your guest, your consumer. You need to speak in the same language. And I think this is not an element which you can learn from a book. It's psychology.
Now for the fun part, tasting the wines. Raimond gathers a selection for us from his restaurant, and we meet the chef on the way.
He's drunk already, yeah?
No. And we worked together in Vincent's, this restaurant, for, I don't know, 10 years or something. 14 years. He was more thinner than me at that time. Can you imagine?
Life of a chef.
And you was cleverer than me, but now.
Raimond selects champagne, a white, rosé, and an orange wine, and 2 reds. Am I doing so far?
Very good. Small detail. So the branding should always face. It's not that important, but for example, in competitions, they don't give you a point if you put the glass like that.
Finally, I get to try some of the wine.
So why don't we start with champagne, sparkling wine? Oh, it should have a nice sound. Don't be afraid. Ooh. We are tasting champagne now, and champagne and other sparkling wines, they have bubbles. Usually the smaller the bubbles, the more finer the mouthfeel is, the more pleasant we can say. Yeah, then you smell the wine, and you try to swirl that like this on the table.
There are 3 important aspects to tasting wine: appearance, smell, and of course, taste.
Let's taste.
So how would you say people should look for a good sparkling wine if they maybe can't afford a really nice bottle of champagne?
You can find plenty of very good value sparkling wine. Look at Prosecco, for example. Still, excellent Prosecco you can get for, let's say, 15-20 euros easily. You should look definitely for Cava in Spain. So Cava is an excellent value for money.
Although this champagne is very good.
Okay, we will continue with a very classic white wine I've selected today, which is Chablis.
Mm-hmm. Old world wines like this one from France, for example, are often drier and crisper, whereas new world wines are often more fruit-driven.
Imagine if you are standing next to the sea, you have this kind of salty, iodine, oyster shell-like feeling when you smell this wine.
It's delicious. Now onto a rosé.
Rosé wine actually is made from red grapes. Provence is very famous, the southern part of France. This is a very classic example, Sancerre, for example. Then Italy is doing great kind of rosé wines as well. A lot of great wineries are making rosés. So my suggestion is just look for a good producer and try to spend maybe not less than, I don't know, 7-8 euros, because still price is a indicator for quality. So if you're buying a wine for €5, you can calculate, you know, what's inside the bottle.
But we still have 3 more wines to
Yes. So let's do the next one, which is a wonderful orange wine.
So, important question, what is orange wine?
So first important answer is it's not made from oranges. So
Contrary to popular belief.
historically the origin is Georgia. And in Georgia they call these wines amber wines. And they take the white grapes together with the skins, they mash them, and they ferment them together with the skins. And the skins of the white grapes, they give this attractive orange color.
To finish, we end with the red wine. We try a Rioja from Spain and a Barolo from Italy to compare the colours. Okay, admittedly, they do look pretty similar, but they taste completely different.
When a red wine ages, it maybe loses a little bit of this kind of fresh, fruity character which it has in the youth, and it gains these kind of attractive woodland, earthy kind of savory notes, which really defines, you know, the aging potential and the complexity of the wine.
I really feel like I've learned some great tips for how to know and learn the basics of good wine tasting. And Raimond has definitely shown us that even as an amateur, you can taste good wine and you can figure out what kind of flavors you like and what you enjoy. So I hope you've managed to learn something too. Let us know what you thought in the comments.